But one by one, the tiniest, most pitiful saints will come before Him, and Christ will point His finger towards them and say, this one was born in Zion. This one is mine. This one is mine. And the most amazing thing, saint, is though you have never seen Him, I assure you that when you look up for the first time into His face, you will see a familiar thing. And I can assure you this, saint, that although there is a judgment for the saints of God, it is probably the most difficult thing in all Scripture to understand. Because I also want to assure you of this, saint. Many of you have very little joy because you constantly walk under condemnation. Many of you who are truly bought by the blood of the Lamb have little joy because you are sure that because of your frequent failures, that the first thing you'll see is a scowl and a frown from the face of one disappointed in thee. That is a lie straight out of the pit of hell. He did not redeem you with His blood so that the first glance you ever catch of Him would be a frightful frown. He's reserved that for those who hate Him. I do not know how you will be judged, but I know it will be in love. I have sometimes wondered if it would be something like this. You appear before Him, and there's so much love coming out of Him. There's so much holiness. Everything you've ever done is brought to mind, and it crumbles you into a million pieces, but at the same time, you know that He knows. And you know that He loves you more than life itself. And He's made it go away forever. And for you smaller saints, you're not Charles Spurgeon. You're not missionaries. You're not great evangelists. You're just little lambs that have never done anything to get in the record books. And you have bought into the lie that somehow God has an inner circle. That He has these men. All your life you've been left out, haven't you? All your life. You've never been the big shot. You've never been in the inner circle. You've never been the chosen one. And so according to most preachers, you're going to get to heaven and the same pecking order is going to remain throughout all eternity. Oh, you're getting in, but you won't sit with Whitefield and Spurgeon. Oh, you're getting in, but you will not be a favorite son. That's demonic. Because Jesus said the first will be last and the last will be first. And by saying the first will be last and the last will be first, He's saying there is no first or last. It's a rabbinic circle. You're there because of Him and you're a child and pecking orders no longer exist. Because everyone who's there is there just because of Jesus. And nothing else matters. You're finally free from all this demonic chaos that steals your joy. Folks, I don't have to move a quarter of an inch to the left or a quarter of an inch to the right to be more loved of God. He cannot love me more. He will not love me less. If I walk out of this pulpit and it's the last time I preach and I become an abject failure, lose all my courage, boldness, faith, and everything else, and am just a tiny man who with all the courage he can muster, can only bear to sit in the back seat of a few, it will not diminish His love for me. The one thing I know is that God's love is not like ours. I am so happy. When I learned this, and young preacher, if I could give you a gift, it would be this. I am so happy when I learned this truth. I became so happy. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except He shed His own blood for my soul. Many of you, I know you. You think you're going there and you think you're not going to be loved as much as the ones who really did it right. That's not true. You're going there in full regalia. You're going there dressed out with the best of them, in a robe of righteousness won by your elder brother. To hell with all this silly stuff I hear preachers preach in order to manipulate and motivate people. You're just loved. You finally came through a door where you're just loved. And that's all. And that's wonderful. That is so wonderful if you can just grasp what I'm saying. And it's all because of the Lamb.